Quick one, my people. I've needed to look after myself a bit better for a little while now, but I keep pushing that start date back. Don't we all? Enough of that now. It's time. I've jumped on Oxford Naturals Optimum Day and Optimum Night. All natural supplements. Optimum Day, taken in the morning, is built to boost energy, optimize metabolism, blood sugar support, and weight management. Optimum Night, taken in the evenings, helps support that journey throughout the night by focusing on a deep, rejuvenating sleep and metabolic support. In conjunction, they help the body achieve a better balance, as well as giving you more focus, more control. Ingredients including berberine, ashwagandha, magnesium, guarana. It makes sense. Do your own research. The proof is there. Ballon d'Or winner Michael Owen, he lost over 35 pounds. Actor, content creator Kevin Gary, we know him as KG the comedian. He lost over 30 pounds. And that's my guy. I had to ask him if he vouches for it.
100% vouch for it all the way. I even got my wife, she's using it now as well. I still post them and they don't even sponsor, man, but just because it worked.
He's got the wife on it. That's certified. To find out more, scan the QR code or click the link in the description for up to 70% off your first order. Big up Oxford Natural, Optimum Day and Night. Start the journey now, people. How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Loose Cannons podcast. A different day than usual, but we played a different night than usual. And we didn't get the points, which over the last 6 games feels quite the usual. But it's, jarring to say the least. Sorry to start the show like this. Big up Jordan, big up James. And a special guest in the building, as always. Nick Bright is in the building. From BBC to TalkSport to Kiss to MTV.
The big dog in the building. Finally.
Whoever's hiring, boys, you know what I mean? Like the CV's getting like that now, isn't it? It's one of them. But yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here, man. Thank you for inviting me on, man. I'm looking forward to, looking forward to getting into it. I was looking forward to getting into it when I got the invite to come on. Less so now, but it's not the end of the world is what I'm going to say early. But I know, Turkish, you got a lot to say about it. So I think we should just get straight into it.
Yeah, I don't think the world's ending, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy to say the least. But listen, before we do get into it, people, Nick Bright, that's his Instagram. It's in the description. Go show him some love. He just said he appreciates us having him on. But a long time ago now, Nick messaged me about coming on to a BBC Radio 5 show about 5-6 years ago now, 5 years ago, COVID times. And that was one of my first appearances on, mainstream platforms and whatever you call it. So big up Nick, man. Go show him some love, people. Big Arsenal fan as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm with him. I'm with him. Let's get straight into it because we've got a lot to talk about. Like, hype, subscribe, people. Show the sponsor some love. Oxford Natural, you know what it is. This link is in the description. And let's get into it. I mean, more drop points. Gap is now 4. Could have been 9 on Sunday. Ends up being 4 on Thursday. 4 days, 4 points. Man City slowly creeping back into it. I mean, it does very much feel like the title race is on. Nick's already nodding. Nick, let's start with you. You mentioned it's not the end of the world, but it does feel like something's bubbling, and I'm not talking about a nice stew with rice. I'm talking about some bullshit.
Yeah, it's so frustrating, man, and I can understand why. The reaction after last night's game, when we drop any points, a draw these days feels like a loss, and it's crazy because we all know, as Arsenal supporters, the Invincibles, we look back on that season. I know we didn't lose any games that season, but we drew 12 in that season. You know what I mean? But whenever we draw now, because of the way the Premier League is and the way this Manchester City side like to go on whenever it's us going for the title. I don't know what happened to them last season, when Liverpool were going for it, they just decided to have a season off. But whenever it's us, they want to put these runs together. So we've got a little bit of PTSD, I think, as supporters. We got a little bit of fear. And I get it, but, we're still in the box seat. That's the way that I see it. We're still in the box seat. It's scary. It's going to be tough. We didn't play to our, our ceiling that we know we can play, which is why it's even more frustrating. And we'll dissect the game, I'm sure, in a bit. But Brentford were good as well. I think they gave us a really good game. We knew it was going to be a tough place to go to. But yeah, I just feel, yeah, like it's another missed opportunity. And there's been a few this season, you know, where Man City have dropped points. You know, it might be a draw or whatever, and then we go on and lose. You know, losing against Manchester United, that was a big one. And now this draw here feels like another one. But look, 4 points at this point. If you'd have said that, I know everybody says this, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, but if you'd have said that at the start of the season, I'm sure most fans would have probably said, yeah, we'll take that and we'll give it a go in the running. But yeah, I can't help but feel a little bit dejected this morning. I can't lie.
Yeah, I hear that. I wish I was just dejected at this moment in time. Usually, a good sleep kind of gives you a different mood. I ain't slept, so I got the same mood. I went to the match. I wasn't impressed. I really wasn't. James, I watched your reaction or player ratings, and you mentioned how much of our next fixtures are now after a Man City fixture, and how our last few have brought up a certain trend that you can directly link to pressure. And you can directly link that to the PTSD Nick talks about, because pressure in previous seasons has ended up being our downfall in a couple of those in the last three, at the very least. But James, talk to me, man. How are you feeling? You man have slept. Do you feel it? Nick says dejected. How do you feel?
Yeah, I definitely feel a bit dejected, disillusioned. You know, you start to feel a little bit like, oh, are they losing me a little bit here in terms of that kind of rock solid faith? Was that, sorry?
Confidence. You said faith. You could say both.
Yeah. You know, I'm glad you brought that up, because when my head is hot post game, I don't think I come up with anything particularly great or insightful. But I do think that was one of my better thoughts I stumbled across, was 2 wins in 6, and it's the 2 games we played before Man City. And I was championing, and I don't like to use the word champion because it's not a good thing, and it's very much not a sign of champions, ironically. But I was kind of championing the Liverpool, Forest, United was full of nerves, because I saw players giving the ball away. I saw players doing things, taking extra touches, just doing things that didn't scream, you know, shoulders dropped, relaxed, enjoying their football. And now when you couple what I'm seeing in terms of ball retention and those lack of sort of that lack of confidence in the team, and you marry that with the fact that we've dropped points in 4 games in 6 in which we've played after Man City. Sorry, all 4 of those games we played after City, and the 2 where we won, we didn't. I'm sorry, there is a little bit of a pattern of nerves. But look, I'm going to take a different sort of tone with this, and I'll let you run away with it, Turkish, because I know you got a lot to get off your chest. You know, fine, we drew at Brentford. You know, it's a poor point. I think they're a very good side. I think they played really well on the day, and I think a lot of teams, you know, a lot of champions would drop points under those circumstances. At this rate, I'm sort of at a point where I'm like, just win the league, and I'm just gonna watch it play out a little bit more. I'm not gonna. I've made all the videos I can make about getting Saka and Trossard closer to the striker, about getting Eze more off the left, about getting White more in the team, Rice in the right 8, going a bit more 4-4-2. I've talked about how Waneri should have stayed, but instead he's gone on loan. Arteta's not going to change it tactically that drastically. Waneri can't come back. The injuries are what they are. You know, there's not really much more I can say. I need to hope that Man City continue to drop points at the rate that also they've dropped points in the last 6-7 games. Because if they do get it together, and it's because they signed Guehi and Semenyo in January, they didn't stand still, they added to their team, and they've done it scoring goals, playing expansive football, trying to be more on the front foot, the antithesis of what we're trying to do to get over the line. If they get it done, we're going to have some very, very, very uncomfortable conversations at the end of this season. But that's not the way Arsenal are trying to approach doing it. That's not clearly, you know, I don't think there's been many games we've really enjoyed from a footballing perspective this season. And if it brings us success, fine. We'll all enjoy it. We'll all be calling them geniuses, and we'll be thanking Arteta, and it'll be amazing. But I'm sort of inclined to just sort of say I've done all the complaining and moaning, and I feel like I've sorry to sound arrogant, I feel like I've been ahead of the curve a little bit with curve. Don't know what it is. I feel like I've been a little bit ahead with the Waneri shout and some system stuff. And Turkish, you have been the attacking football. Now I'm just inclined to go, cool, we're still 4 points ahead, just win it. Because if we don't, it will be because City did all the things we said we should do more of, and we threw away this lead. So I'm not happy, but there's just so much I can complain, really. Let's just see it play out. And let's hope City, you know what, also find it tough in the Premier League like we have and draw to Newcastle or draw to Leeds away or have another Brentford type result. Because if they have another 3 or 4 of these, we have another 3 or 4 of these, we'll be champions. And that will just be the climate of the Premier League this year. It will just be one of those seasons. But if it's not, and they put together that kind of run, then like I said, very uncomfortable conversations.
I remember, I think November, December times, I remember you didn't worry too much about City, but it does sound like you, well, rightfully so, are a lot more worried, you could say, about them now.
You know, this is still the team that absolutely threw away a second half lead against Tottenham, who had no one available. That was 8-9 days ago, 10 days ago, so I'm not wholly convinced by them either. But it's that they're trying to do it in a very different way, in a way that us as fans deep down want Arsenal to do it, in a way we want them to do it more. We want to feel that our Shirkies and Fodens and, I know we don't have a Haaland, but those players, our Dokus and Semenyos, because we've got players in the final third that can make things happen. We want to feel like they can be sort of brought to life a little bit more, brought into the game. But Arteta's not platforming them. Eze was awful. But again, I'm watching him going, but he's sort of back to goal all the time. He's in congested spaces. He's playing in areas that I don't think suit him. We'll talk about the players in more detail. But basically, I think it's fair to say that we want to look a little more like Man City on the attacking front. But if that's not what it takes to win the league this season, that's fine. Of course, we'll all take it. We just want to win it. But if that does get it done and we throw it away because we've decided to be more conservative and not be on the front foot and go, well, safety first, clean sheets first, like I said, I think it will be a really difficult end to the season, conversation-wise. But I'll watch it. I'll watch it, and hopefully I'll watch it. Happily seeing us win the league at the end of it. Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you, but it just feels like the hope is now that we fall over the line, because we've had, like Nick said, we've had 3 or 4 of these big opportunities to look. Bernardo Silva said it. If they didn't beat City, if they didn't beat Liverpool, they would have thought it's over. And he mentioned the team there. And we've had opportunities before that game for City. We've had opportunities in our hands to make it 9, to make it 11, to make it 13, right? And that just leads me to think it's the same old problem in terms of pressure. You see Declan Rice throwing his hands in the air, saying, every effing time. That was a few games ago, right? You see the little confrontation with Stuyvenberg or whatever his name is, our AirPods or whatever they call him, right? Like, to me, this doesn't scream like, it tells me there's a bit of tension there. And Arteta said a couple of weeks ago in the press conference after drop points, United, he said, we had a talk. We had a talk, and everyone looked at that as a turning point, right? We haven't turned any points. Well, the performances are still as timid and weak as they were leading up to that comment by Mikel. I think this team needs to have a meeting without Mikel, because certain times on that pitch, and I put majority of this down to Mikel, because, and I'm tired of caveating shit with Mikel as well, and I'm going to do it maybe the last time. He's built a great defense, but our attack is shit. That is the play. I'm a blunt guy, but that is the plain and simple. We can use different words and frame it different ways. Our attack is shit. Yes, we've scored the second most goals in the league, but for what the defense does in terms of security and the midfield does in terms of possession and control, our attack is underperforming. I don't give a shit if we're second to Man City. This is the season we're meant to be first. And yes, in the league we're first. I'm just talking about when people say with the attacking number, it's not as bad as you think. It's not about that. It's about 180 million spent on this attack, and our biggest threat is still a set piece a year later. That's unacceptable from Mikel. He mentions, I don't tell Odegaard to do that, pick up the ball deep. But you persist with him. You bring in Eze, hoo-ha, let it all work out. It's not working out. It's not working out. And it's covered by the fact that we are first and we are through in the Champions League and we're in all competitions. But we play like that. And not just that. We play like that. We play like we did against United. We play like we did against Forest. We play like we did against Liverpool. Against the PSG, Bayern, Real Madrid, Barca in the Champions League. Even a Man City in the Champions, we're out. We don't take a point from those games. We're out. When is Mikel going to flip it up in those moments? Because he flips it up so easy when we go 1-0 up. Raya starts taking care of the ball a bit more, drawing them in. But what did that do? That just invited more and more pressure. And then the last 20 minutes of that game and the last 20 minutes of most of the games we've dropped points in this season has been embarrassing, in my opinion. Sunderland sticks out. This one sticks out. Because I've never seen in any era of any league season a team going for a title, being the favourites for a title, needing a goal in the last 20 minutes, and the opposition are the bigger threat. I've seen that too many times this season. Brentford could have scored 3 goals in the last 10 minutes, but we're going for the league. Make that make sense. Forest, we've done the same thing. Sunderland, last 20 minutes, back, 2-2. So as much as, yes, again, I'm going to caveat it, I still think we win the league. Similar to how James is feeling. It feels like we're going to fall over the line because I don't think City are going to pull off a run that will better our run enough to turn it around. But, big but, we go to Etihad with it 4 points and they beat us mentally, 5 games left. It's a whole... And that's where we're headed towards. Because Tottenham away is around the corner. Maybe a manager bounce, maybe not. Chelsea after that. There's Wolves away before that. And yes, their season's pretty much down the pan. But I'm sure against Arsenal, they're going to want to pull something out. We've missed chance after chance to kill off Man City. To kill off this Premier League. We beat Liverpool. We essentially kill it off 3-game swing at that point. On the verge of 4. Didn't happen. Cool. City dropped points again. We beat Forest. We are on the verge of killing them off. We don't do it. Man United, we don't do it. And that was just to keep, the gap the same. We didn't do it. They closed the gap. This time round, it was about keeping the gap the same. We didn't. Mikel, he comes out in these interviews as well and asked about, oh my God. Firstly, these journalists that ask questions in press conference, I mean, is there a course for wankers? Because they must graduate in that before entering that press conference room. Because did you hear that sports guy the other day?
On behalf of my colleagues, I just want to say that.
But if that guy is your colleague that said the other day, 10 this, 9 this, 8 this, 7. If that's your colleague, tell him I said it to him personally. Tell him.
I actually don't know who you're talking about. I need to go watch this.
I didn't even get it.
So I know it's funny. I get funny sometimes when I'm blunt, but I don't mean to be funny. It makes me, I want to learn when I watch a Mikel press conference. And then when they finally get through, like after the game, Eze, what's happening? Oh, new players at new clubs, it happens. Brother, am I stupid? Semenyo's just come in at Man City and scored 5 goals in 10 games. Madueke is still out here struggling. Beautiful header. Beautiful header. Magic. He made that out of nothing. But for the other 80 minutes he was on that pitch, he was as dead as the rest of the attack.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why we're going to talk about Eze. So poor generally this season. I'm so underwhelmed. We're going to talk about Odegaard again. We'll talk about Madueke again. Martinelli again. Miss. Forest. Miss. PSG last year. Miss. But none of the attackers are playing well. So it's on Mikel. I'm sorry, it's on Mikel. The majority of this is on Mikel. He has to fix this. He has to. I want a complete overhaul in how we attack. Because it was tweaks in October. We all wanted tweaks. He just has to tweak the attack. He just has to. It's all right. Eze's on the bench for 5 weeks. He'll come good. How? He's cold. That's not me taking it away from him because there's a lot on him. But make it make sense. Sorry, Jordan, and sorry, Nick, and sorry, James. I don't know how long I've been rattling on for, but
It's all good.
No,
this one
I
really
did the
pissed me
same.
off
I think
because I
everyone
held
needs to
my
get it
tongue.
off their chest.
United, I held my tongue. Forest and Liverpool, it was so frustrating, but I thought, you know what? It happens. But what did we say earlier this season about how many it happens can you have before you look back and say, yo, this doesn't happen? And we're on the, we're on the verge of it all. Wolves away, Tottenham away, Chelsea at home. We need to win all three. Will we? I don't think so.
Yeah, we have to go into the Man City game with a buffer. I'm with you there because the way we're playing at the minute, I just don't feel confident going there. It's so mad because when you think about when Manchester City came to the Emirates and how we battered them in that game, and Pep was bringing on defender, and it was like the lowest block Pep Guardiola's ever played. To think where we are now and the way Manchester City look versus the way we look in games. I look at that game at the Etihad and I don't feel that confident. I hope to be proved wrong, because this is football at the end of the day. Like anything can happen and all of that stuff. I really hope that by the time we play them, we're a bit more fluid. Because I think one of the big problems is, I can totally understand your frustration, Turk, and everybody else's frustration as well. Because one of the big problems is we just don't look good at the minute. Performances, even when we win. I know people will go, yeah, but we beat Leeds with a good result. Sunderland was a good result. The Sunderland game, it was a good win, 3-0. But like a lot of Sunderland supporters were saying they don't think it should have been 3-0. It wasn't like a 3-0 game, if you know what I mean. So we just don't look like the team we did at the start of the season. And that's, you mentioned the attack, but also the defense. Defense is a good defense, the best defense in Europe, all of that stuff. And I agree with that. But we just don't look as solid as we did. Like when we went 1-0 up last night, for example, if that was earlier on in the season, I'd have sat back. You know what I mean? I'd have been like, game done, 1-0 up. Saliba and Gabriel not going to concede. I know Saliba didn't play last night, but, we're just not going to concede a goal. Now it's like, I don't feel that confidence anymore. And I'm not kind of looking at the team thinking, 1-0 to the Arsenal is a thing.
Sorry to cut you there.
It's all good, bro. It's all good, bro.
This is where the disservice in Mikel's philosophy comes, because the defense must be looking at the attack now and saying, what the hell? What the hell? Because they are the best defense in Europe. The stats back that up. The eye test backs that up. The best depth. Mosquera had a couple of moments, but even the worst moment he had his best moment after that, which was a last-ditch tackle. But so we've got all of that there. Do you get what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean, the attack is a problem, as you say. The players that we have, even look, we all love Bukayo Saka. Again, I know he didn't start last night. We all love Saka, but the output that we're getting from Saka this season is not where it needs to be. Madueke, it's not where it needs to be. He likes taking players on. He likes going on. It's not where it needs to. But the only player, and he's kind of been off it in the last few games, but the only player that I'm really confident in when he's kind of like bearing down on goal with a one-on-one is Trossard. I think Trossard's the coldest finisher we've got in our attack. But if Trossard's off it, you mentioned Martinelli comes on. He's not a killer. I've said it about Martinelli loads of times. And I like Martinelli as a player. I think he gives us something different. When he comes on, he's a lot more direct. We saw with the goal, the cutback to Gyökeres, where Martinelli was just through on guy, he left everyone behind and blah, blah, blah. But like, if Martinelli's on a one-on-one situation, I don't look at that and think he's definitely going to score. If he scores, I'm like, great, don't get me wrong. But I look at it and I'm like, this is 50-50. And, if you're going to win a title, you kind of need, like you said, we don't have a Haaland, and, Haalands aren't 10 a penny. You can't just get Erling Haalands everywhere. But 99 times out of 100, if Haaland is like got a good space in the penalty area or a good opportunity, bang, you're seeing the net ripple. And kind of we need a player like that, and we just don't have it.
And football's a mess right now, because you look around and you think, oh, let's go sign that 100-goal striker, and he comes in and he's it's Jordan. And to be honest, he didn't even have the worst game.
I thought Gyökeres was good.
Sorry,
I'll get the one positive out. I thought Gyökeres had a really good game. I genuinely do. His touch was immaculate. He was linking play. If we win the game, it's because he's the one who's played it in behind to Timber. I thought Gyökeres was great. I thought he was great when he came on against Sunderland. He's doing his thing right now. And the thing I was most impressed about, he did it with everyone around him being a fucking joke. As a cohesive unit and as individuals, they were shocking. And he still kind of stood up. I couldn't believe on TNT they gave the centre-back man of the match. I thought Gyökeres had a really good game. So let's defer to Jordan now, but I just wanted to come with that one positive because he brought it up. I thought Gyökeres more than did his thing. Him and Declan Rice and Nkapie is about the only players I'm quite happy with.
I'm not in panic mode yet, gents. It's not looking great, but I'm not quite losing my head yet. We did a pod early December, guys, and Turkish, you asked us the question. I've forgotten what you said exactly, but it was around the attack, and you were saying something about the attack, and I responded by saying, if we win this league, it won't be because of our attack. It'll be because of our defense. Our attack is not great. It's not great. It'll be if we win this title, it will be because of our defense. And that's right. No, sorry. You asked us, will it get better? Do you think the attack will get better second half of the season? And I said, no, it won't. So none of what I'm seeing right now is a surprise to me. And again, I agree with you, Turkish. If I'm Gabriel, if I'm Raya, if I'm Timber, I'm looking at the attackers and saying, boys, any chance? Any chance? Like, are we gonna have to carry you for the whole season? Are we gonna have to carry you guys for the entire 8-9 months? Any chance you guys can do your job? Because we're doing our job. We're doing our job. We had that run start of the season when teams couldn't get a shot, let alone a goal. We've done our bit, but we can't keep a clean sheet in every single game. At some point, you guys have got to do your job. I agree, James. That first half, I thought Gyökeres's play was really good. Everyone knows my thoughts on Gyökeres, right? But I actually thought every single ball that came into him, I thought he held it up well, laid it off, linked play really, really well. Second half dipped a little bit, but I thought his off the ball work was really, really impressive. So I do want to kind of just endorse what you said there about him. First of all, I think Brentford. I disagree with Turkish a little bit in the sense that I said after the Sunderland game, I think that draw will age well. And I think and I hope that this draw ages well too. We wasn't great last night. We just wasn't. But Brentford are a good team. Not many teams will go to Brentford this season and win there. And I know we're going for a league, but I don't think drop points away at Brentford is where we're going to lose the league if we indeed lose the league.
Can I say what won't age well, Jordan, is this attitude when we go 1-0 up.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Because our attack isn't even great. And then we go 1-0 up, and then we just there's no low block, mid block excuse when we go 1-0 up. We just decide to bring on the high press, and then we struggle with that.
We've been doing that for a year, maybe two. But I keep saying every single podcast, it frustrates me how often we take the lead and then we just seem to just sit off. We score the goal and then we're like chilling. We're just chilling. A couple of games we've gone for the second and third. The Villa game comes to mind. But we score the first goal, then it's like, yo, right, settle. And it's like, no, boys, get the second, kill the game. You're good. You're very good. Now kill the game. I don't know why we keep doing this thing. Even also, we're wasting halves. That first half was a wasted half. It was a wasted half. How many games this year have we wasted halves? Sorry?
Thank you. No, you said what I said. How many halves this season have we wasted?
So many 45 minutes. I'm like, all right, it wasn't crap, but what did we do? Didn't do anything. So then you're having to win a game in 45 minutes rather than 90 minutes. I just don't understand why we do this. This playing from the back, that Gabriel mistake in the first couple of minutes comes from, for me, this lackadaisical pass to the left, back inside, back to Raya, sprays it out to Timber. Timber back inside to Rice. Rice first time back to Raya. Raya out to the left now to Nkapie. Nkapie goes down the line, turns, comes back into Gabriel, back to Rice. I'm like, guys, I'm all for build-up play. I'm all for trying to pull opposition players out of pockets. But this is too much now. This is too much. I don't understand why we keep doing this. And again, it feeds my last point about wasting time. No one's punching balls into the middle. And that might be an issue with it. That might be the attack being disjointed with the defense. Maybe there's a disconnect there going on. I don't know. But it really infuriates me how much we just how many touches Raya gets, Gabriel gets. It's just not it's not cool. Look, we've gone from a situation whereby I thought we could have afforded to lose that City game in a month or two's time, to the way it's looking, we might have to win it.
Yeah.
We might have to go
Yeah.
there and win it. Now, I personally don't think that's a game that I'm really actually concerned about. I think we can go there and get a draw. Like, it's the other games I'm worried about. It's the other games where even Spurs, the Spurs away game now looks like a game where Chelsea, they're the ones I'm actually more concerned about than the actual City one. So I've no thrown ahead beyond this game last night, but my kind of concluding thoughts are wasted half, really slow tempo, too many players. We should discuss Eze. Too many players playing below their level, and just a lack of individual quality and also individual initiative. Only Declan Rice in that first half at one point, after it being quite tepid, got the ball in the half turn, dropped the shoulder, bursted past two players. I think it came to nothing. But the point was, he just thought, oh, sod this. Let me just try something. He dropped his shoulder. He went past two players. I think he sprayed it out to the left and it came to nothing. But there's not enough players thinking to themselves, you know what? Let me break rank. Let me just break rank and try something. He was the only person that did in the first time. There's not enough players taking the initiative of just deciding, let me try something. Let me just do something off the cuff. There's too much system play going on, and I think it's killing us.
Miles Lewis Skelly was good at that.
He was. He was. He is.
He scored a great goal. Well, he set up a great goal against Atletico, didn't he? Doing exactly that.
Yep.
And it's funny because you said we're going to talk about Eberechi Eze, and I think this is not that I'm hosting the show, Turkish, but I think this is a
all right,
good,
Nick, calm down. You're not in charge.
I know.
He's in charge here. All right.
I think it's a good segue though, because you're talking about players in the midfield, who can take players on, who can take people on, make something magic happen, and that's Eberechi Eze for Crystal Palace. Anyway, it's not been Eberechi Eze for Arsenal though, and I don't know what it's down to. Like, it's really easy for me to say, it's got to be Mikel. It's got to, Mikel's got to be the one that's like, taking this creativity out of him. And it may well be, but I don't know because I'm not in the dressing room. But it's so frustrating because we know how good this guy is. He was doing wonders for a team that are way worse than us. And I know teams play against Crystal Palace and they don't set up in the same way that they set up against Arsenal with the massive low blocks that we're having to contend with and all of that stuff. But we just want to see a little bit more. And, a little bit like Declan Rice there, like Jordan just said. Declan Rice just said, you know what, I'm just going to do something different. I'm going to have a go and take a few people on. Maybe we need Eze to do that. And maybe he's not doing that because he's newer in the team.
Can I pose a theory, Nick?
Yeah, go on.
Sorry to cut you, mate. I think it might be the adjustment to the pressure of playing for a big club. Because I've watched him quite a lot when he's played his last 2 or 3 games. I've really kind of kept my eye on him, and the positions that he's taking up aren't necessarily bad positions. I don't think he's hiding from the ball, but I think there's this lack of initiative where it's like in the half space in the pockets, drop me the ball, I'm gonna drop the shoulder, try and beat 2 players and make something happen. And I wonder if the pressure that comes with playing for a club like Arsenal, where it's not good enough to just play well but get a draw. You got to play well and win. That doesn't happen all the time, obviously. But at Crystal Palace, you can go 2, 3, 4 games playing a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, and it's not a big deal. At Arsenal, it's got to be an 8 out of 10. And I just wonder if that pressure hasn't quite... It might take him a year, and I don't know, £60 million coming from a Premier League team, you might say he shouldn't get that grace. But it might take a year for him to really be like, whoa, the level here is 4 times higher than Palace. The expectation here is 4 times higher than Palace. And I just wonder, it's a theory, if that dealing with the pressure of, I've got to be the guy. He's not a high-touch player like Odegaard, but I'll forgive him that. But when you do touch the ball, we expect some magic. I don't mind not seeing you for 10 minutes, bro. I don't mind if you're not involved for 10 minutes. But when you do get on the ball, I need to see something. And I just wonder if he's struggling to deal with that pressure of, I've got to make something happen here. I'm the creative hub. I'm the 10. And I just a theory.
Did you see Arteta's interview recently? I think he was interviewed by a manager from a lower league. I think that was the premise of the interview. And he was asked if he's made any mistakes. And one of them, he said, well, you know, he said, I made loads. It was very honest of him. He said, you know, one of them, I wonder whether in the early days, you know, we focused too much on tactics and not enough on kind of personality and things like that. I'm paraphrasing. But basically, I think he actually said the words, you know, did we overload the players with information? Did you guys see those clips?
I remember something like that.
I saw that. Yeah.
So my thing with Eze is I think there has to come a point where the trends can't be ignored. Why is Eze and Erdegaard and Nwaneri didn't look his best this season when he played, and Bukayo Saka and Noni Madueke and Gabriel Martinelli and Victor Gyökeres and Gabby Jesus, and the only players who, pound for pound, in terms of the amount of appearances they've made this season, the only players who've looked anything like their best are Leandro Trossard and Kai Havertz. And again, Trossard, we always knew as a bit of a clutch player, someone who's just, you know, finished things, and Kai Havertz has played about 5-6 games this season. That's it. So why is it that so many of our attackers are just lacking anything like the sort of guile, invention, flair, enthusiasm for the game that they normally have? And again, it goes back to my point. It's why I'm not being as ranty on this pod as I probably was in my match reactions last night. Arteta isn't prioritizing and platforming the attackers to thrive, because if it was about the attackers getting, and it's so funny because, again, I feel I always need to caveat, no, I'm not a coach. No, I don't know as much as Mikel Arteta. But someone explained to me why it makes sense for Eze to play behind Gyökeres where there's no space, Madueke to be out on the touchline, and Timber to be the one trying to get near Madueke. I thought Timber was really poor last night. On the ball, going forward, he needs to rest, the poor guy, basically. But even then, he's not suited to that kind of game state in terms of, you know, going forward and attacking. Defensively, still brilliant. But why is Madueke's help Timber making darting inverted runs? Why is it not Declan Rice playing right 8 as the box-to-box, supporting up and down because he's got the legs to do that? Therefore, Timber can sit a bit deeper where his skill set is best in build-up, and Eze can be in the left pocket, getting the ball where he did in the left pocket under Glasner at Palace, where he was playing some of his best football. Just little things like that. I've made no changes to the 11. We haven't kept Nwaneri. We haven't made any signings. We haven't had any better luck with injuries. But I feel like that platforms our attack better. I put it out on Twitter, thinking, I don't know, am I being naive? Lo and behold, 99% of people agree. Now, maybe we're all wrong. Or maybe Arteta goes, yeah, if we need to score goals and we need to put everyone in the best positions to make something happen, that's an idea. And that's not alien to Arteta. He's done that before. He has platformed Eze in that area before, Inter Milan away. He's platformed Rice in that area before. I think Man City away last season, it worked really well. But he won't do it, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, he won't do it because that breaks too far from the off-the-ball structure that has worked. And that's what he's prioritizing. So he's going, yeah, I get I can do all that, but I don't want to because I want this first. And when you look at the results, I mentioned these 6 games. When it comes to it, it's clean sheet, Zubimendi error, 2 worldies from United, clean sheet, and a set piece. So he's probably thinking, look, defensively, we're doing our thing. And over 38 games, that will deliver. Now, if it does, I go back to what I said at the beginning. If it does, thank you. We'll be on the streets of London. We'll be wearing Arsenal shirts. We'll be over them. We won't care how we did it. But again, if we don't, I'll have felt, and we all grew up on different Arsenals. Some people grew up on the George Graham, the 1-0 to the Arsenal. The defence is always a part of who we are, the clean sheets, and that's fine. But it's not the Arsenal I identify with. The Arsenal that got me off my seat and got me loving football was Dortmund in the Champions League. Rosicky, Cazorla, Ozil was a trio with Arteta and Ramsey behind. All creators, all ball to feet. And then you brought on Jack Wilshere. And before that, we had, you know, the Arshavins, the Hlebs of this world, Nasris. Those are the players I grew up on. I grew up on a manager who goes, Nwaneri, Erdegaard, Eze, I'm playing them all with Zubimendi at the base. That now, people will rightly remind me, yeah, and how many league titles does that bring you? I get that. And I get that the game evolves and I hear all that. But I don't believe there has to be a complete give and take. I think there is a middle ground. And I think someone like Pep at his best has found that middle ground, because he will get De Bruyne and Silva in midfield. Even now, he's persisting with, all right, he's brought O'Reilly in, but you'll see the wide players are Foden or Shirky, but then they can go more direct with Semenyo or Doku. That's more in line with a team that I identify with. If we win it, though, I will not care. But if we don't, I feel like a lot of us would have felt like, what was all that for then? What was all that? What the way we struggled and the slog that so many 90 minutes were, what was it for if it didn't yield silverware? And that's where I think we're all a little bit on a knife edge. Like, we're not going, we hope you win it. And I hate to say this, and maybe I should only speak for myself. I think there's a bit of a sense of, you better win it. And that's not nice. Like, that's not
No, we
how
better
should
win
be
it.
feeling. That's not how we should be feeling on the 13th of February, 4 points clear, and with a real chance of winning all 4 competitions. That's a strange feeling. Turkish, you've seen us win titles. You all have. Have you ever felt that feeling of, you better win it? Not, come on, we can win it. We're going to win it.
This is my first experience of a manager coming in, going 5 years without a Premier League title. So it's unique. Do you get it? I caught the end of the George Graham and then the Wenger era where he won it in his first full season, then again 4 years later, and then again a couple of years later. And then with Wenger, he had the credit in the bank for another 10 years you could give him. This one's a unique situation, but it is like, for me, the whole better win it was from the start of the season. It just became more intense because of the situations we found ourselves in. Liverpool, out of the way. Chelsea, joke, man. Man City, don't look the same. But it feels like, instead of them chasing us, we are falling back to them. And on paper, what have we got? 57 points?
Yeah, bro, we're on course for 83. I just did the maths like 10 minutes ago. I mean, 83 points is not a tally to write home about, which is why I ask you, do you feel that sense of, forget, you're right about the 5 years and everything, but in terms of the football we're playing, is it one that you're very happy to stomach and it's just the results that's disappointing you? Or is it actually what you're watching that's making you feel a sense of just deliver? Maybe it's just me, but I'd actually love all your opinions on that.
For me, this ain't sustainable. So even if we win, it's obvious where we need to improve. But I feel like winning can be the factor that opens this up, takes the pressure away, allows you to be a bit more free with your approach, less stringent, because you are a champion, because you have done it, you have got over the line, you have got winners in your team. So I feel, yes, it's a good question. I mean, you want to pass it to Jordan?
Yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think. Are you feeling like? Go on.
I think this football, the way we're playing right now, is totally reliant on City not being City. I think this only works. I think this only brings us to league if City have shown us the form they've shown us this season. If City can put, I don't think they can, but if City can put together the run that we know they have in the past, this football will be trumped. City will overcome us. They just will, right? So, and that's risky. Winning a league, I don't think he's not banking on this, but winning a league predicated on your rivals messing up is a very dangerous strategy to employ. This football for me is limited, and I think we will drop more points. I just think we're hoping that they drop points as well. Do you know what I mean? So I'd love to get Nick. What do you reckon, Nick?
Yeah, I'm looking at the 22nd of March. We all know what's coming down the track on the 22nd of March, the Carabao Cup final, right? Because we're playing Manchester City, and if we can be in a position where we're still 4 points or X points clear at the top of the table, because we don't know what City are going to do. We can only control what we're going to do. Say if the gap remains the same and then we go into that game and we win, I think we win the title, because that game there, it gives us belief. We beat them, you know what I mean? And I know there's a scenario where we could be playing them 4 times in a matter of weeks, isn't there? Like if we meet them in the Champions League. But let's just focus on the EFL Cup final. We win that game, we win the league, because it instills belief. It instills a winning mentality into the team. I think Raheem Sterling has spoke about this, hasn't he? But at the minute, I'm looking at it like the 22nd of March feels ages away in terms of the football that we are playing at the moment. I look at it and I'm like, can we maintain this 4-point lead at the top? I don't know. Like, maybe we can if Manchester City drop points, like James was just saying, because, you know, they've not been great. But, like, I don't think we're going to win every game. And that's a worry. You know, I did Inside Gooners on Talk Sport the other day, and we went through Arsenal's next 5 fixtures and Man City's next 5 fixtures. And I looked at Man City's and I was like, they're going to win all of them. It looked to me on paper anyway. And again, I know it's football, it can change. But I looked at it and I was just like, I can't see them dropping points in any of those games. And I looked at ours and the conclusion was, you know, I mean, I've been proved wrong. We were proved wrong anyway, because we thought, it was myself, you know, Perry Groves and Deluded Gooner, and we kind of thought we would take maximum points as well, and we've fallen at the first hurdle by drawing against Brentford. But and that's where we're at. We look at those games and we're kind of like, I'm unsure as to whether we're gonna take a win from that, and that's not a good place to be in, because, you know, I take it back to the stadium, and I know everybody's talked about this in Turkish. You're at the games a lot of the time, and it's like, in the stadium, when I watch it on TV, I can feel the nervousness in the stadium. I can't imagine what it's like to be in there, you know, and I'm sure the team feel that as well. And that's why Mikel came out and did that press conference after Manchester United. But it hasn't changed anything, because the fans will take belief and energy from what they're seeing on the pitch. And what they're seeing on the pitch at the minute is just pure nervousness.
Exactly. That is such a crucial point. And I really hope, for everything Arteta said in that press conference about getting everyone going, how do we want to live these last 4 months, everyone get behind us, all that, I really hope there's some acknowledgement behind the scenes of, we understand why the fans are feeling a bit shaky about it, and it's because we're not instilling that confidence. And it's not, we could still be 4 points clear after a draw against Brentford, with a gap that was 9 points being shrunk to 4. We could be in the exact same situation and feeling better because of what we're watching. I keep saying to people, some fans say, oh, Arsenal fans are a disgrace, you know, you're losing your heads too early, and other fans are saying, no, you know, we're right to, you know, feel the way we feel. The point is, I really believe that so much of what fans feel is based on what they're watching. It's not just, I don't think we are a fan base that are purely swayed by results. I really don't. Otherwise, we'd be just sat here going, yeah, we're top, it's all great. But the Emirates doesn't feel like that. The Arsenal fan base doesn't feel like that. And it's not just a PTSD because of what's happened before, because this is a good lead we've had in the league title, and City haven't been the City of old. We're feeling this because we don't have full, complete and utter faith in the football we're trying to play. So we're just sort of sat there kind of, we're almost watching like this, like, okay, we've got 3 points. Okay, carry on. Like, we're kind of watching a little bit in fear, because the football doesn't scream, oh, with every attack we're going to score. Oh, we're wave after wave. We're in total control. We're keeping teams at arm's length. So I don't blame the fans for feeling a little bit the way they feel.
I don't either. I mean, I've not felt all season convinced by Manchester City. I just don't think I've struggled to believe that you can win a title losing 6 games? They're on 6 already, I think it is. And I just can't believe a team can win a title losing 6 games, right? So I've
They're
not
on
been
5. They're on 5
is
at
it
the
5?
moment.
Okay.
But I think they'll lose one more between now
They'll
and the end
lose
of
at
the
least
season.
one more. Do you know what I mean? I reckon. But equally, I've said that I'm not convinced by Arsenal this year as well because of pressure. But the main thing for me has been pressure. I'm not convinced that this Arsenal team can deal with pressure. They've not shown me that they can deal with pressure in moments, in games, in periods, but over a course of a season, I'm yet to believe that this Arsenal team can really, when it matters, and now it matters, because let's have it right. The title race started on Sunday when City beat Liverpool. The race started, the race really started on Sunday, right? That was a bang. We are here, Arsenal, from City.
I agree.
Like, let's go. What are you saying? Right? And I'm yet to believe that when it really matters, this team can get the job done. They can look great in November and when it's sunny in August and September. But when it really matters, I have concerns about that. But I do think your point is relevant that you made earlier on, James, that I think we play before City every weekend now before they play. That matters, especially being top and going first. That really matters.
Would you mean after?
After.
Are we after?
I think we're after for every single game, because we've got
I thought we were
4:30.
before.
No,
So
after.
we've got one
Oh, was it
before, which is
after?
so
Oh,
we've got
okay, I'll
Wolves.
take it back then.
No, but it's interesting. So we've actually got Wolves before they kick a ball, so we can extend it to 7. Then they've got Newcastle at home, and then we travel to Tottenham. What would basically, I just had a look. City have won 3 of their last 7 Premier League games, and you made a great point, Jordan. Basically, the kind of football we're playing is the kind of football that works if City remain inconsistent. If basically they keep putting up that kind of run, basically 2 wins and a draw, or like 3 wins, a draw, and a defeat every 5, or 3 wins and 2 draw. Basically, if they keep delivering that, then yeah, we're going to win more football matches than we lose, even playing this way. We're tight
Our
at the
record's
back.
the same, though.
What's that?
Our record's the same.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's kind of the point, right? Because we could play this way and go, we drew at Brentford, we drew at Forest, but it doesn't matter because City, they drew at Brighton, they drew at home to Brighton, they drew at home to Chelsea, they lost at United, they threw away a lead at Spurs. If basically they don't get any better, we'll win the title almost by default because we are too good defensively to lose too many games. So we'll always kind of put a point on the board. And we'll kind of always find a goal. I mean, we were talking about the attack being super poor. It was, and yet Madueke scored, and yet Erdegaard, Rice, Gyökeres. Actually, I'm not putting Gyökeres in that. Erdegaard and Rice made an absolute mess of a transition. I think we are pound for pound the worst team in transition in the league. Timber and Martinelli made a mess of that big chance at the end, and I'm including Timber in that because a more empathetic, delicate pass means Martinelli doesn't have to take a touch and Kelleher doesn't have time to get to him. So for all that, I still think we had chances to win the game, but you're right. So did Brentford. But more often than not, I don't think we concede that many chances. I think the defense has really stood up to it no matter what. So if City don't improve, you know what? This ugly ass, database football might get us over the line. And we'll
Sorry, I
thank the
was
defense
wrong.
for it.
Sorry, I was wrong. We do after the Wolves game. Yeah, we do play after City, which is not good.
I know. I
That's
know
not
you
good.
said you include Timber in that, but I before even judging what he done in that moment, why the hell is Timber the one running through? Where the
Yeah, I
fuck
know.
is our attackers? Like,
Couldn't
what's
agree
going on
more.
with this team? Like, Mikel, I get it when we're winning and we're controlling, it looks good. Quantum physics, we're going to the moon again, whatever. Yeah, but when it's not, it's like it's so confused. It's just like, what's going on here? It's equations with no solution. Timber's running through and go in the 93rd minute. Where the hell is Odegaard? Where's Saka? Who else was on in that time? I don't know who was on. We had enough attackers on to wonder why Timber is the one going through, because that attacker's there pulling that guy towards the throw-in. This attacker's there pulling a cut. It's everyone's pulling someone somewhere and no one's pushing. We need I'm so frustrated with us at the moment.
But that's a
Can I just
great
like throw-
example.
Sorry,
Sorry, John. That's a great example. Timber finds himself in that position. So I find myself going, man, thank you, Timber, post ACL, for all the efforts of the last 2 years. And then you're the one at the end who's actually making the lung-busting run to try win us the game. I don't question his effort. And that's kind of true of the players. I don't question their efforts. My word, are they trying and fighting? But when it comes down to it, it can be those very particular. Do we think Mateus Nunes is the one running through on goal for Man City in that situation? It's Shirky, it's Foden, it's Semenyo.
I have to disagree with the trying and fighting, bro.
Do you not think they are?
Because, bro, like, you lot enlighten me. There's 3 people here, yeah? You all watch football. Name me a great team that's won major titles that in the last 20 minutes of games that they need to win, they are not applying wave after wave of pressure. Just name me one.
No, there isn't one. There isn't one. I don't think.
The Chelsea Jose team.
That to me is fighting and trying. It's 1-1, wave after wave. Sometimes it won't go your way. Sometimes you'll get countered and you'll lose the game. But in my life, every champion, every great team has applied pressure in the last 20 minutes when they need to win a game.
But that stems from the manager.
Yeah, but that's why I say, are we fighting and trying? Or are we just listening to instruction?
I think the players are doing everything they're being asked to do. I really do. I think they are trying to execute every idea because Timber that late in the game, why is he there? Because Arteta's instructed him to be. You're right. Saka, you hug the touchline. Pull Rico Henry at that point. Might have been Hickey in the game. Pull him with you, and then there's a space to attack. Now you could argue it's genius, you know, because if we score from that, the space was there because of. Actually, sorry, Saka won the header, so he wasn't there. So I'm talking nonsense, actually. But my point is, he's in that area of the pitch because Arteta has instructed him to be. So I think they're constantly trying to do what they're being told to do. I don't think they're losing sight of the task and the instruction. But you're right that it's about the manager for me more than anything.
And that's where some of the owners comes to the players for me. Because for fuck's sake, you man are paid more than the manager. You man win these games. So sometimes fuck what the manager says. Honestly, every great player have some moments to become great, they haven't listened to their manager in a moment and done what they believe they should do. Nowadays, football is too like headmaster. Like, let me listen, sit down, cross your legs. I'll follow every instruction. Where is the greatness? Where is the, you know, it's all good and well, Declan, now you saying it every effing time. Next time, I need to see you lot throw the kitchen sink at it. Forget what Mikel says. Throw the kitchen sink. Mikel, you like set pieces. Yes, it's not the right time because Havertz and Marino are injured. But I never see him in the last 20 minutes when you need a goal, put Havertz or Marino up top, Gyökeres or Jesus off, launch balls in, Sam Allardyce Bolton 2004-5. Launch them in. Launch them in because that is more attacking than what I'm seeing from us in the last 20 minutes.
But it's more, it's more chaotic.
Pulling there. And Arteta's got some cheek. He does this often. To mention Martinelli's miss when he's asked about the game. Now, we can talk about as fans because we've seen that enough. But, Mikel, you've trusted the guy again this season when, to be honest, we should have done something on that left-hand side. We didn't. And then you're going to mention the one big chance we had in that game. Tell us why we only had one big chance in that game, because Madueke's goal was magic. It was shit magic because it's not top bin and free kick. You know, it was magic because it was Madueke, header. It was going over him. He planted it nicely. It was all perfect. We created one big chance in the 93rd minute, and we created that chance because Brentford were putting it all over us, and they were throwing everyone up top to win the game.
Turkish, did he say that? Did he single out Martinelli's? I haven't heard
anything. He didn't. He mentioned it. You know, like we could have won the game there. You know, but he didn't mention the 3 opportunities Brentford had to win the game in and around Martinelli. So sometimes I think of like Arteta now, and I think Wenger during some bad times would always put his arm around the players, and I think Arteta's doing the same. Because at this point now, be honest about the players. Eze, when you're asked about him, say it's not working. We need to figure it out. There's a quality player there. We haven't seen that quality yet. What's wrong with that? What does that do for Wolves next week? Does that enlighten them to tactically beat us? Because he's come out in the press conference and said, it's not worked well with Eze. He needs to work on some things. I need to work on. What's wrong with that? That's the truth. Don't come and tell us our new players don't work out at new clubs, you know, from the get-go. When we've seen it work out. You don't buy a 27-year-old Premier League proven player. That's why I can't get onto Eze too much. That's why I backtrack on some of the things I've said about many an attacker over the last 2 years, because Arteta doesn't coach a good attack, and he hasn't done since 23-24. You mentioned the word fluid, Nick. James, do you remember how you used to laugh at me? Because in 22-23, I used to say we're not fluid. So much when we was at AFTV. That 23-24 season, we were winning games. We were in and around the top, but I said, we're not fluid. Our transition's not good enough. We are still talking about fluidity. In those 3 years, we've had 6 months of fluidity in attack. 6 months. Arteta, man, this whole arm around the shoulder thing, I don't think it's going to work this season. I don't think it's going to work.
I know we've got to rattle forward, but just a couple of points, just bullet points from the game again. I think we should highlight the header from Madueke. It's a brilliant header. I'm not a Madueke fan, but that's a really good header. So big him up for that. Crossing. We've seen what I've said for the last few weeks as well. We don't cross the ball. I think in football generally, teams don't cross the ball enough anymore. I'm watching so many football games, guys, and I'm seeing players in the box and the ball not come in. we don't cross the ball enough. We need to definitely do more of that. Couple of big saves from David Raya. I thought we had a mixed game, but there was a couple of big saves in there whereby if he doesn't pull them off, we definitely lose that game. I
Yeah,
do
but
agree.
he's losing his head a little bit, Jordan, for me.
He's
Yeah,
dipped a
yeah, he
little
is.
bit. He's dipped a little bit. He's dipped a little
He's
bit for
just
sure.
erratic. He's the
Yeah.
antithesis of the other 10. He's in a rush to do things and taking risks where he shouldn't, and the rest of the team are passive as hell.
Yeah,
I'm
I agree
watching
with
him.
that.
He looked a hot mess at times yesterday. I'm like, come on, Dad. You're the calm. You're the composure.
But that
And I
Thiago
felt
save, which
was
was
that?
the Thiago save, which was his best save. He's the one that gave it to them.
Yeah, it was.
And it
his
was the
fault.
second
Yeah.
time he's done that. Earlier in the game, he rolled it to Gyökeres. I'm thinking, what's Gyökeres meant to do? He's just been like hounded by 3-4 players in one go. He's never going to come out of that. Sorry, I love
No,
David
no,
Raya.
I
It's
get
been a
you're
little
totally right.
while that I've been a bit like,
You
He
also-
had a
David,
moment
yeah.
against Sunderland as well, didn't he? Yeah, I know we won the game 3-0, but there was a
He
moment
did,
in
he
that
did.
game as well. Yeah.
You flagged Timber on the last pod, James, and I kind of thought, okay, I've not noticed a dip in his form. He wasn't great yesterday. I'm with you on this one. I think in the summer we need to work on his offensive weaponry, because the debate a few weeks back about who's the best right back in the league, it was always Reece James for me, because I think defensively they're on par. If not, Timber shades it. Going forward, Reece James has got 4 or 5 more weapons in his armory than Timber. Timber is basic going forwards. That's something this summer they've got to really coach and improve on.
Ben White needs to come in.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. And Mosquera, I thought was one of a few like shining light. I love Mosquera. I really rate
Yeah,
Mosquera. Yeah, and I thought even a couple of really key blocks as well. Look, it's the point. We move. It wasn't great. A few concerning signs, but I think against let's get Wigan wrapped up. Let's handle our business there, and then make sure we can go to Wolves and bring back 7 points and get going again. Because yeah, right now it's looking a little concerning for sure.
Well, what about Erdegaard? Just very quickly, and I must say that I've been talking about Arteta. I think we all have in terms of the attack. I think Erdegaard is suffering from whatever everyone else is suffering from, really. How can you play great passes when no one's making great runs? How can you play little 1-2s when, like Turkish said, there's a lack of fluidity? So part of me thinks that he's being brought down to the attacking level that's just being instilled in this team. But again, I think we're pound for pound, for the position we are in the league, the money we spent on players, the worst team in transition in the league. I mean it, the worst. I think we're the worst.
To be fair, though, the best part of our game yesterday coincided with him coming on. That 46 minute, for 15, 20 minutes, we were all over them. And that's when he came on. Now, maybe I'm giving him a little bit too much credit, but I'm just saying, if he came on and our levels dipped, we'd flag that. So let's be fair. When he came on for 20 minutes, we were brilliant.
So I totally agree that was our best spell. However, I'd say that the last 10 minutes of the first half, we wrestled back control and we were actually looking fine. We weren't really creating chances, but we were playing football in their half. Then he comes on. I completely agree. We go up a level, and I thought he actually looked good, to be fair. He was combining well, playing some nice passes. And then he fell off a cliff with the rest of the team. There were a few times where he gave the ball away cheaply and won on a counter attack where he needs to just roll it to Madueke, and he tried to turn inside. Do you remember? And he just got tackled, and it was just like, all right, great.
And the Timber one, he played it out for a goal kick.
Yeah. You're right. That was appalling. There's another where I know Rice tries to lay it off to Gyökeres, but I think if Erdegaard plays it earlier, either to Rice or to Gyökeres, we can make more of that. So I think he took too long on that one. What I will say in his defense, I think people are being too harsh on him on the goal. I think we got done by a set piece. I think even if he stays the right side of the man, the guy's going to just dive over him and score. Like, basically, why is Erdegaard there in the first place? Why have we not got someone to deal with the back post? I know it looked a little bit weak, and then he's going down with an injury. I mean, he did limp off in the tunnel after, but I'm not really going to blame him. I think even if he stays on his feet and tracks the runner, he's getting done. So I look more at the setup and maybe Nicholas Yova for that one. But yeah, again, this is another game where our captains come on and not had the impact I'd have wanted. But he falls in line with 4 or 5 other attackers on the day that didn't get anywhere near their level. Zubimendi, loved him against Sunderland, all the praise in the world. Is this not the game where Zubimendi goes, right, we're lacking control. Give me the ball. Let me just settle it down. but it feels like Rice is getting more touches and more passes from that area of the pitch. So there's a lot of platforming issues here. With our attack and with our players playing in the areas they're most comfortable with. But like I said, if he yields us a title, cool, whatever, great. I'll be over the moon, genuinely.
One of the things that concerned me about last night's performance, I mean, there's loads of things, but like one of the things we've not necessarily spoke about, and we haven't got heaps of time to do so, but it's, you know, I thought Brentford played well. They didn't do anything spectacular. They played well. They pressed us really, really well. And a lot of people talk about, you know, oh yeah, but like the last 20 minutes of a game when they're knackered, that's when we'll turn it on. And we didn't. You know, Turkish, you were saying the last 20 minutes, in fact, we looked like we were going to lose it. And that for me is quite concerning, because I don't want, you know, if I notice patterns like that, and, you know, us four here can notice patterns like that, you best believe that coaches that are paid millions, thousands, you know, to millions will notice patterns like that. And I just worry that, like, you know, a team like Brentford, who, albeit they've had a great season, to be fair to them, because a lot of people were tipping them to get relegated this season, and they've proved, well, I'm definitely shoveling humble pie in my gob because of that, because I picked them to go down. But, like, you know, I just worry that we've seen teams apply this low block against us and say, come and have a go. And for the most part, it's not been pretty, but we've got the job done. But against Brentford, you know, when they weren't in possession of the football, yes, there were men behind the ball, but they were pressing us high up the pitch. And I just worry that, like, you know, we might see a repeat of that against other teams. And if that's the case, it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, the low block, mid block issue is an issue for us, but it's not the issue for the attack. The attack is problematic even against teams that don't, you know, put up a low block, mid block. We've seen that enough, because we've had games where we create an abundance of chances, then it comes down to finishing. So all in all, there's a lot of deficiencies in attack. But this weekend, I was kind of, after this result, I was kind of hoping it was Premier League, but it's not. It's Wigan. I don't know if you lot feel the same. Is it better that it's taken away from the league now, or like me, do you feel like it would have been better to just have Wolves away this weekend, get back on track in the league, and go again?
I think it's
Wolves. Sorry, Williams.
No, Jordan, carry on.
No, I was gonna say I'd have preferred Wolves. I'd have preferred a league game to get back on the horse, but, you know, is what it is.
I actually think it's come at the right time. I think, as much, you know, the cups are great because we want to win them, but also it does feel like you can rest and rotate and try different things. You know, for all our injuries and problems, and when Airy on loan, whatever, we had a really strong bench. So I hope we can rotate and see something quite fresh for Wigan at home. I also think I'm quite happy that Wolves game is where it is now. You know, another game on the road. Let's try get a win. Let's try extend it to 7 before Man City play against Newcastle. And then even if they win that game, which I expect them to, then at the very least, you know, what better way to try and reignite your season than the North London derby? Now, that could all go wrong. We could drop points at Wolves, because for everyone saying they're the worst team in Premier League history, they've actually been a much sturdier opposition than Derby ever were all those years ago. And they're proving themselves a little bit more, whatever. So that could be tricky. City could then win and put serious pressure on us before we play Tottenham. Like, that's all very true. But I'm just quite glad that we've got a couple games before we worry about Spurs away, and we'll just see what the context is then. So, and I want to win the FA Cup. I want to win them all, people. I'm not just judging us off the Premier League. I'm judging us off all of it.
How much rest and rotation do you think we'll see? Because I know, you know, it's the FA Cup and everyone's going, yeah, we'll probably see loads. But, you know, Mikel, he likes playing strong teams. And off the back of a disappointing, I know we didn't lose, but a disappointing performance against Brentford, how much rotation do you think the gaffer's going to put into the team? You know, and I put that question to everyone because I'm unsure. I don't actually know the answer because I don't know. There's a school of thought where it's like, get the players out, you know, rest, feet up, and ready for Wolves again. But then there's another school of thought where it's like, look, they're not playing well. We're playing lower league opposition now. we could batter them and that could build confidence. So I don't know which way it's going to go.
Well, should we
Should we
quickly do
build
our
a quick team?
11s? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, Kepa.
Kepa,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Kepa will play. Yeah.
Right for me.
You pick Raya,
Okay.
Turkish.
Yeah, man. This is FA Cup, man. It's important. It's important to me.
Okay. I'm gonna
Um,
write these down. Old school.
What about? So I think we can go wholesale at the back. I think we can go White, Mosquera, Calafiori, Lewis Skelly.
Yep, I like
Yeah,
that.
I'm fine with that.
Cool. Then I'd go Norgard. Already we've got a problem. Norgard, Eze, Erdegaard. I'd go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marino's out. Havertz is out.
Yeah, and both Eze and Odegaard need to bloody do something. So one of you
Yeah.
two, both of
Yeah,
you
you're
two,
right.
work something out on that pitch against Wigan.
Yeah, Norgard and those two. And then I'd give Saka the start because he needs it with Jesus and Martinelli. That could be quite a fun team, weirdly.
Yeah.
At least it'd feel like something different. 2 10s, pace on the wings, false 9, inverted left back, Ben White getting up and down. Feels like the closest thing to the Arsenal we enjoyed the most.
It's just come to my mind now. Fuck all the rotation. Mikel just do something different in attack. Tactically,
Yeah,
I want. This is the perfect game now. It might be the only game we have left where you can probably try something in attack and we still win it. So please, Mikel, just try something. Because when you were saying Saka to start, I'm with you, but at the same time, am I ready to see Saka just bore me to death on the right against Wigan? Like, because the tactics are boring for our attackers. Let's get some Eze Odegaard, Saka on the like those players. You give them a bit of freedom, a bit of license, you will get something out of them. This is Wigan.
But Turkish, I hate to say it, but he's not going to change how he sets up and plays.
Well,
So
it's going to be his downfall then. Even if we win the league this season, it's going to be his downfall.
And I'm with you. I agree.
It's not sustainable.
I agree. But I think that what we can expect is a change in personnel. He ain't changing tactically. He just isn't. He just isn't going to change tactically.
It's up to him, man.
I mean, two 10s in itself will be a bit of a novelty if our 11 that we've just gone through there comes to fruition, because he's so risk averse, Mikel. Even at home when we've been playing teams who are going to low block against us, we very rarely ever see that.
But Nick, even if you play 3 10s, if the instructions are think about defensive duties first, then what you can do, it doesn't really matter. That's why I'm saying 2 10s on paper looks like very attacking, but I've seen Jose teams with attacking personnel, but with the structure that doesn't allow you to get the flair out of those players. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I've said my piece on him tactically. I just don't think it's going to change. Defensively, just give me clean sheets. That's how this title was won. Give me clean sheets. And it's unfair on the defenders, but that's the only way for me to win this title. Clean sheets.
Well, but then if that is how we're going to do it, Jordan, then we need to stomach the football. If that's it, give me clean sheets or whatever, then that's fine. It might win us it. But expect more Forests, more Brentfords, and let's hope that City have the equivalent of those. And maybe it will be the defense that wins us the title, because we simply didn't lose as much. Ultimately, City, it might be that.
Works. I'm not convinced it works. I'm just saying he ain't changing. He ain't changing.
Then
So
clean sheets are more important than ever before. Then more important than ever before. I agree.
All right, let's do predictions then. Not much to talk about regarding Wigan because I don't know much about them people. But if there's any Wigan fans in the Loose Cannons community,
I don't think they're very good.
Subscribe. Let me
Get
bring
yourself a Wigan pie.
Like,
Have you boys ever had a Wigan pie before? It's
Nah.
It's basically it's a pie in between 2 bits of bread or like a back.
Allow it.
It's nice. There you go.
That's a
Ever in
heart attack
Wigan.
incoming.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Nah, that's like that's the
Constipation.
English. That's the English version of patty and cocoa bread.
Yeah.
That's right. That's also constipation and a heart attack incoming as well. I've had plenty. Trust me.
Hey, patty and cocoa bread is This is 9 a.m. You can't be having patties this early, but cool. Prediction table. I mean, Jordan has closed the gap, and I've extended the gap at the top, not because we got points, but because James and the guest got -1 for selecting Gabriel yellow card.
Oh, okay.
Me and you got 0, Jordan.
I had Havertz and he didn't even play.
Yeah.
Gutted. Gutted.
So Wigan FA Cup prediction and star man. I'm gonna go prediction 3-0, and I'm gonna go star man Gyökeres. Nick, prediction and star man.
Right, I'm going for a win and a clean sheet as well, but I'm going to go for 2-0, a little bit more conservative. And this might surprise people, but I'm going to go star man. I'm going to back him. I'm going to say Eberechi Eze, star man.
Okay. You're not the first. You might be the last.
I'm just hoping I could speak it into existence because we all want to see it work out, bro. Come on.
We do.
I've been selecting Gyökeres all season and I'm still waiting for it, man. Right.
He's getting there.
Getting there, yeah, James.
I'll go 3-0 Martinelli.
Okay, 3-0 Martinelli. And Jordan.
I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go Eze as well. I'm sticking with Eze, man. He's having a tough time, but I'm backing my boy, man. He's got to bring something. 3-1 Eze.
I don't doubt his quality at all. Still, even up to this point, I do not doubt Eze's quality. So figure it out, Arsenal.
Yeah, but now Nick, Jordan selected him as star man. No goals, no assists. Eze.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Jordan, bottom of the table by a long way as well, and I'm thinking, can I change my mind?
Sorry, Nick, I've killed you.
Oh, mate. For audio listeners, I'm top on 41 points. The guest is in second place on 39 points. James in third on 29 points, and Jordan's in fourth on 26 points. We've all got one correct score each, so that's how the table lies as it stands. We've all made our predictions. I've gone 3-0, James has gone 3-0, Jordan's gone 3-1, and Nick has gone 2-0. Both Jordan and Nick's star man is Eze. I've gone Gyökeres, and James has gone Martinelli. So that's what it's looking like, people. Make sure you show Oxford Natural some love, and we're going to wrap it up with comments of the day as always. Are we good or?
Yeah.
I'll be so honest, I don't really have a comment. I saw there was a lot of love for Joe Charms. I actually did read this at the time, by the way. And people were reminding me that in rugby and apparently in basketball is where you can get given a goal if something was going to end up a goal. But
I thought it might be
actually doesn't end up.
I wasn't sure, so I didn't.
Yeah, so thank you to the comments for correcting me on that. A lot of people were showing a lot of love for Joe because he made a great point about like the fans getting behind the team. And you know, it's funny because here we are, only one pod on after the Brentford draw, but it's why there's a balance with all this. You know, we will keep singing and showing up and supporting and believing, and even with everything, we've all sat here and said we still think Arsenal win the league. But at the same time, that's why, you know, it's not wrong to talk about the things that we're struggling with, even when things are going really well, because patterns, you know, you don't go very long in football before they're taken advantage of. Someone's always trying to exploit your weaknesses, and 4 times in 6 games has it happened. So yeah, anyway, apologies for that. I don't have a comment of the day, but just some reaction to some of the comments.
Let me and Joel just do a couple more shows, and I won't let him say that fan thing again.
He was right. I just think there's a lot.
No, he's in Disneyland. He's in Disneyland.
No, I don't think he was right.
Fans ain't got shit to do with your club winning. Like it's the players, it's the manager, it's the fans help by supporting. But in terms of, look at Real Madrid, the most successful club in football. When their fans want to flip, they flip. When their fans want to sing, they
flip.
Sing.
They do.
When their fans want to smash someone's car leaving a training session, they smash someone's car leaving a training session. It works either way. It's only here that it's like, let's put rose petals on the floor for them. Let's make them a nice cake to, you know, enter training. You know, let's give them a massage while they take a corner. Like, what the fuck? Fucking win the league title, man. 21 years, man. What the hell is going on? I've got a couple comments, though. Let me bring my comments in. Kai says, watch this and the old pod for years. This has to be one of my favorite ones ever. Love the battle between Jordan and Joseph. Great football chat, and rounded it off with some great comments at the end. Keep it up, lads. Big up, Kai. And big up Ant-Man as well. He says, I like Turkish, but mate, stop talking about what we should have or could have done against Forest, United and Liverpool. Them games are done. Look forwards, not backwards, and try and keep up the positivity. It's hard to look forwards when it's a run. It's a run. Look, James is smiling. He thought I was going to get a bit more rude than that, but no.
It's not aged. It's not aged well, because we've just had a performance that fits with those other three. So you can't. This is my issue with people. Oh, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Yeah, but if I'm seeing things that I think are going to cost us in the future, it's very hard to just enjoy it. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, just give me the league title, put it in the bag, and let's just keep it moving, because I can't. I'm not enjoying watching Arsenal people right now. Like, hands up, I'm not. I didn't really enjoy the Sunderland Leeds games that much. We won them 4 and 3-0. I was like, good wins. Yeah, we played quite well. Am I enjoying it? Not really. And that's not just a PTSD thing. That's the actual performances in football. So if we win, great. I will not care. If we don't, I'll have a lot more issue with that.
Who's our most aesthetically pleasing player?
I think it's Eze. And look what
in
we're
terms
doing
of the way they play, or are you just talking about how they look?
Who is for us? Like Eze hasn't been, right? So
Trossard.
Who is actually?
It's probably Trossard.
Waneri when he was here.
Yeah. Fair.
Like, I don't
in attack though, or because I don't know.
I mean,
in a different way.
I just started thinking about it.
Raya.
Or Saliba.
I think Saliba.
Like it depends how you want to. In attack, it's a really hard question to answer at the minute.
Yeah, that is a difficult question to answer in attack. I'll tell you that. It's Jesus if he's fit, but he's had his problems. Jordan.
Yeah, a couple from me. I got a message on DM on Instagram from a guy called Mark. I won't read the whole thing because it's long. I won't read it at all. But he gave a really good kind of counter to the discussion we had a couple of pods back about whether it's a good league or not. And he was kind of giving a counterpoint as to why he thinks this is a good league and the quality is high. I disagreed with every word that he said, but it was a long message that he articulated his point really well. And I like those kind of mature conversations where it's not all horrible words. Last two guests with the brightest teeth you'll ever see. I checked both the pods and I was like, yeah, it's true. Both Jay and the guy, but who that before 2 pods ago? Who was it? They were 2 pods back. Anyway, I checked them. They both did have really pearly white teeth. Quick tip for the listeners. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Quick tip for the listeners. If you mute the part where Jordan speaks, this podcast is 10 out of 10 and makes perfect sense. Love for the love people. So my question then is, if it's a 9 out of 10 because I do speak, I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that. 9 out of 10 is still.
I don't think it's a 9 out of 10.
I'm going to deduce he's saying that it's 9 out of 10 as it currently is. And last one, I just love this pod and big up with all you guys. The way James talks tactics, spot on. Big shout out to the big bro Turkish. Jordan, we share the same name. So when you say the crazy stuff that you say, I'm like, and he has my flipping name, kiss my teeth. Big up the guest today. Really enjoyed his takes, and I definitely can relate to his opinions. Love for the love. So basically, because we've got the same name, is why you give me a pass for the nonsense that I talk. But that's okay. I'll take it.
I'm fuming. If no one mentions my teeth now, I'm gonna be like, rah, look at that 2 weeks in a row.
You ain't gonna be smiling on this thumbnail, Nick. If I put you smiling, they'll think you're crazy after that Brentford game. I'll be honest. I actually like this one from Matt says hello as well. Jordan, next pod, quote, I want to big up my crew in the depths of the Amazon rainforest. Not sure if they watched the pod, but I heard there's a few Arsenal fans there, so I just
big up my Amazon crew. What do you mean?
That was a great comment. That was a great comment.
People, all right, comments, keep them coming. People, like, hype, subscribe. And Nick, talk to us, man. Where can they find you? What are you up to? What's coming around the corner?
Yeah, man, I'm staying busy at the minute. You could catch me Monday to Friday on Kiss. I just started a new show, like we said at the beginning. So I do Drive on Kiss now. So 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. every single day, man, just playing the bangers and hopefully getting people home. And the good news is I don't have too much time on there to cry and complain about what's going on with my football team. So that's why it's nice to be invited on here and being able to kind of air it. And also, as James knows, we sometimes do Inside Gooners together over on TalkSport. But it's very different coming on here as a guest, because I get to kind of whinge and cry about my football team, as I say, as opposed to kind of asking James to do that. So yeah, I appreciate the invite to come on, man. It's a great podcast, man. I've been watching and listening to you guys for a long time. So yeah, it's an honor to be here.
Could we get a shout out on Kiss?
Of course.
Come
Of
on.
course.
Quality guest.
Done.
There you go.
Like, all you got to do is remind me. Just remind me, and I'm on today. So you know,
Hey,
I
4
can
to
do it
7 as
today.
well. That's prime
Come
time.
on,
4 to
come
7
on.
is
Yeah.
that's the big
So-
slot.
Best
Drop
guest
me a
so far.
message, man.
Yes, for sure. But all right, Nick, I love for coming on. First time
Yeah,
won't be the
thank you,
last
Nick.
time. my
Big
bro.
up you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate
Hey,
you guys.
show Nick some love, people. His Instagram is in the description below. But like he said, you can find him or listen to him on Kiss every single day, 4 to 7. You can find him on TalkSport sometimes with James, and you can follow him on Instagram and follow the journey there. Show him some love. Show the video some love. Love for the love. It's 4 points now. On to Wigan FA Cup. We'll be back after that. And before Wolves with the Premier League, we'll recommence and hopefully we extend it to 7. But before that, Wigan, and hopefully we get through. Love for the love, people. Make sure you're there. Peace. We are out.